All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me start broadcasting this. Welcome so much for our webinar, Recruiter Burnout and How to Overcome It. With me, I have an amazing friend and speaker, Tanya Bourque. She's been a recruiter, HR professional, HR leader for as long as I remember her, and we go way back to SourceCon days in Anaheim when I had my previous HR tech company. So I'm very blessed to have her with us. And today we're going to be talking about burnout and how to overcome it, specifically in the talent acquisition HR space. So thanks for joining.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to talk about recruiter burnout and how to overcome it.
One of our missions is to get 1 million self-taught and underrepresented people better access to opportunities globally. So to us, it doesn't matter if you are in an emerging country or right here in the US. We believe that if you have the heart, the grit, and the passion, and the willingness to learn the skill, you should be able to learn those skills, acquire those skills, and apply those skills, and join the global economy and contribute. Yeah, for sure.
Here's some industry data insights. According to LinkedIn data, HR tops the list of functions with the highest turnover. As per June of 2022, the report across all functions, HR has consistently had some of the highest turnover, ranking among the top 3 functions over the past 3 years. More industry and data insights. According to Recruiting Blog's data, the contingency recruiting industry has the highest turnover rate of any industry. As of a report, there is a 90% recruiter turnover rate. Increasing the gap between what one wants to achieve and what one can do. What are the effects of burnout on recruiters? Low productivity. Has it been challenging to complete a job that was once a piece of cake? Is it difficult to be productive or focused on work for extended periods? Stagnations. Since starting a career in recruiting, has anything altered, and does it now seem routine? Pessimism and cynicism. Having a pessimistic attitude can lower confidence and negatively impact your ability to complete tasks effectively. Job exhaustion is one of the first indicators of burnout, whether it be emotionally, mentally, or physically. So when I look at these effects of burnout on recruiters, this can actually be applied to almost any job that can be done. It's not just limited to recruiters. If you think about all of these circumstances can be applied. Fighting recruiter burnout and fighting it as a recruiter. Dealing with burnout requires thorough examination of what's causing the burnout by identifying your triggers, which is subjective and dependent on various things related to your position. Ensuring that you have proper time management, self-care, investing in hiring platforms, access to mental health resources, support team collaboration, work remotely. So ensuring, proper time management. Determine what matters most to your success. Ensure that you list everything you need to do and cross it off as you do them. And sometimes we add a little bit too much on our list without being realistic of the time. We jam pack our schedules, we have back-to-back meetings, and we still have compliance things to meet while managing all of our interviews. So being realistic on our time management is really important. Set aside time throughout the day to concentrate on specific projects. So a good example of this is there is a software program that a lot of my friends use. I've used it where you have office time or thinking time, and you set certain amount of time every day to kind of organize yourself and to give yourself some time to complete the manual tasks in between meetings. Determine what's best for you and stay with it. You'll rapidly burn out if you can't manage your time well, which is, very true. You're jam packing your schedule or you're not efficiently managing your time, you're going to exhaust yourself. So self-care, getting enough sleep, eating properly, exercising is critical, but personal and professional growth are significant. Whether you work from home or in office, you need to set some limits on your work-life balance. Sure, you leave all of your job stress at the office after you clock out. So for those of us that work remotely, it means turning off the computer at a certain time and sticking to that time and not checking emails throughout the evening or the day or after you get off. So this is a very difficult thing for me, especially, but you have to come into an agreement with yourself on what your limits are. Allowing yourself to recharge is the best method to avoid burnout. So don't over fatigue yourself by pushing yourself to the point recuperation is so difficult that you can't return to producing your best work at the beginning of the week. And so if you have vacation time, take it. A lot of us, forget that we have vacation time, don't take it. Investing in hiring platforms. So innovative recruiting software may help you re-energize your efforts, increase your productivity, and improve efficiency, especially ones with features of automation. LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Greenhouse, Indeed can be great resources to discover and close on qualified talent. By supporting you in streamlining the entire hiring process, a recruitment system may help you work smarter and reduce recruiter burnout. Making 90% correct assessments and saving at least 13 hours of labor each week. Engaging in networking. So reach out and talk to someone who understands your situation. Have a solid support network of other recruiters while experiencing disappointments and rejections. Attend local recruiting groups or internet recruiting platforms, like recruiting blogs. SourceCon is a good one as well. ERE. Networking events provide you with supportive colleagues who understand what you're going through daily, as well as an opportunity to learn new methods and ideas from other recruiters. Support team collaboration. So work productivity will increase, will rise when HR professionals cleanly split their responsibilities among coworkers. Recruiters that interact often increase their recruiting ROI and work more efficiently. This may help them stand out in a crowded market or lessen their workload when many requests come in. The dream can only be a reality if everyone works together. So work remotely. This is not possible for everybody, especially when there is a push with some companies to come back to office. But if you have the opportunity to work remotely, it definitely helps with a lot of things. So with the increased prevalence of internet-based work, recruitment tools, remote work is becoming, more common option for recruiters. On social networking platforms, job boards, and other online tools, prospective applicants post their work or signal searching for employment. Remote recruiters scour these websites for candidates who meet their customers' needs. Recruiters often contact their customers through email or virtual chats, and they may screen applicants over the phone, all of which can be done from home. So, final thoughts. There are solutions for concerned recruiters who are overburdened and squander time in their recruiting funnel without getting results. If anyone is on the verge of burnout, do not allow it to get to worsen. Recruiters cannot do their jobs properly since they have, little time, resources, and technology. The absence of a recruiting platform is a leading cause of recruiter fatigue. Using a platform like EVAREC, recruiters can reclaim their time, stop feeling like robots, and discover their passion for the job. So I'm going to open it up to any questions.
Tanya, thank you for sharing all these amazing tips. There's a lot of stuff covered, right? The statistics of 90% burnout or fall off turnover rate within is pretty crazy. That's even like commission sales. They have maybe they have similar turnover actually. And I'm curious, like out of all the different tips that you mentioned, which ones to say are probably the top one? I can hear Chris in the background. That's awesome. I think you may be muted now.
Try to do that, but because it's not.
Can you hear us, Tanya? Oh,
You're on mute.
oh, okay. Oh, okay.
If there's like
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to tell you, but I was like, how do I tell you that you're on mute? I'm so sorry. Well, for contingency, it is. It is a full commission sales role, and a lot of agencies in the past operate in a way where it it eliminates the weakest candidates. So I definitely would advise the time management piece, which I find to be really important, and to give yourself some breaks. Make sure that you're not back to back every day, if possible, because I think that when I experienced burnout myself, I was back to back every day for weeks, and it was nothing but phone screens or meetings, and I didn't have time to stop and think and just really just take that break. We don't give ourselves breaks. We don't take vacations. A lot of us don't. And it's a very American thing, unfortunately, that if you look at the statistics on vacation time, most Americans don't use theirs. So there's a lot of really cool guided meditations on YouTube. And yeah, I started with those, I think my second year or third year in recruiting, and saw that everything that I was doing was drastically improving. I'd start the morning with one that was about 5 minutes, and then did one in the middle of the day that was 8 minutes, and then one before closing off. And there's different ones for different purposes, but I found that even just taking the time off and really doing those helped me out quite a bit. Helped me remain calm, helped me remain focused. I felt re-energized after doing those. So those kind of things, just really taking time away from the devices, our phones, our computers, our tablets, our watches, all of those things that make noises. and that's definitely very true. And the automations. So now all of the applicant tracking systems have automations that knock out people that aren't going to be a fit. based on the minimum basic requirements, so that you're not screening people that, that aren't going to be a fit from the beginning. So I started out actually corporate recruiting, and then went to agency on my own. And I want to say that being a solo owner with some employees, it was a lot to manage. And there were things that I had to learn that I didn't have a lot of experience in. And I had a lot of support from the recruiting community, which I'm really grateful for. A lot of people taught me things that I didn't know, because coming from corporate, it's so completely different than the agency. I want to say that with agency recruiting, there's so many different components to it. There's the client management piece, which I want to say is different than the client management piece on the corporate side. There is the lead generation, business development piece, which I had to learn extensively, and I didn't have that experience. But I think coming into my own agency in 2016, my first year was really difficult. I had a huge learning curve, but I was really glad that there were a lot of people willing to talk to me and mentor me, through that. I have so many of them, so I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I have so many of them that have come out and supported me at different times. Our community is very giving. It's definitely a very giving community. It's a very supportive recruiting community for sure. There is a lot of new associations that have meetings and have different things throughout the year where you can meet people. But generally, I've found that our community is very supportive. Yeah, so I've seen different things, and I've seen it come in a different form versus I'm burned out. I've seen it at SourceCon where I need to find a new job. Can you help me? And it turns into that kind of scenario. And I've experienced it myself, where you take a position and you're there for a year, and things change. You get a new manager, or you get or things change. Things change culturally, and that can cause a lot of burnout too. I want to say so that we've gone through several different scenarios in the last 4 years. The first set of layoffs were during COVID, and they only lasted for a few months. And then after that, there was a big hiring surge that lasted for about 18 months. And then when that ended, we had layoffs again through the tech world. And so I think a lot of that is just, it's stop and go, stop and go. And that has caused a lot of stress and a lot of turnover. I've heard of a lot of people who joined recruiting 3-4 years back and now are considering different careers because of this stop and go. That it's made people feel unstable, which I feel that also may be a cause of burnout as well. And when I started my agency, I didn't have a lot of money for tools, and then as we grew, I ended up buying more and more tools, applicant tracking systems and time management systems, and all of these plug and play tools. But there's a lot of free tools available, more so than ever. There's a ton, but the one that stands out to me is there's a bunch of contact finders that give you 4 free contacts a month, and those are those are great. I want to say Google is probably my favorite tool of them all, because you find everything in there if you know how to search for it. I'm trying to remember, there's a whole bunch that are in Chrome that we've used where they set specific times, but just using your basic calendar and setting a calendar block for different times is probably the easiest to use.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.